discuss foreign invasions during the pre-Mauryan age. Pre-Mauryan age. Foreign invasions. Foreign invasions occurred in the pre-Mauryan age. These foreign invasions during the pre-Mauryan age there were two foreign invasions. One is Persian invasions. The first people were the Persians. Persian invasions and Greek invasions. Persian invasions and Greek invasions. These two invasions occurred during the pre-Mauryan age. Coming to the point of the first Persian invasions. Persia, it is Iran. The modern name of the Persia is Iran. Persians were the first two. They were first foreigners invaded on India. First foreigners, those who invaded on India, were the Persians. We are knowing this from the Herodotus. Herodotus, he wrote histories. This book speaks about Persepolis Wars. Persepolis Wars are Greco-Persian Wars. It was the first book on the history. That's why Herodotus is called as father of history. Yes, what Herodotus gave the information. According to the Herodotus, Persian Empire was the biggest empire in the ancient period. That is what called as Achaemenid dynasty. Achaemenid dynasty was ruling Persia. It was ruling Persia. This dynasty was established by the Cyrus the Great. The founder of this dynasty was Cyrus the Great. Established during the 6th century BC. During the time of the 6th century BC, he established Achaemenid Empire. Cyrus the Great, whenever he established the Achaemenid Empire, he wanted to extend this empire. In the point of the extension of empire, he invaded on India. Cyrus the Great was first foreigner who invaded on India. He was the Persian. Cyrus the Great invaded? He invaded on India on Takshila. He occupied Takshila, Gandhara, like the surrounding areas of Takshila and Gandhara. These areas were occupied by the Cyrus the Great. Takshila, Gandhara fell under the control of the Persians. So after this Cyrus the Great, the next person who invaded on India was Darius I. Darius I, he was son of Cyrus. Darius I, he has an army general. This army general was also sailor. His name was Skylax. Skylax was army general and sailor of the Darius I. This Skylax, he invented or he discovered a route to India. This route via Sindh Gulf. He discovered that. That's why Darius I, he followed the Sindh Gulf and he occupied Sindh. He also occupied Sindh, Gandhara, Takshila. Sindh, Gandhara, Takshila, these areas combinedly occupied by the Darius I. All these areas were occupied by the Darius I. And he made all these areas as a 20th state of Persia. Already in the Persia there were 19 states. All these states in India became 20th states. 20th state in the Persian language, that is satrap. 20th satrapy. The name satrapy means state in the Persia. The head of the satrapy was satrap. Head of the satrapy was satrap. Satrap means he was governor or viceroy. He was also called as governor or viceroy. Satrap. Later period, these satraps, they ruled India on the name of Saka satrapas. And also Chaharata kingdom. Chaharata satrapas. Like the satrapas who were started during the time of the Persians invasion period, these satrapas, they became five families. They ruled different areas of northwestern India and western India. Different parts of northwestern India and western India during the post-Mauryan period. They raised nearly during the post-Mauryan period, like Sakarudra Damana and Chatrapa ruler who was Nahapana fought with Gautamiputra Satakarni. Gautamiputra Satakarni defeated Nahapana, and also Nahapana's coins restruck by the Gautamiputra Satakarni. Sakarudra Damana, he was very famous by issuing a inscription called Girnar or Junagar inscription. It was the first fully Sanskrit inscription that you know. So, from where these Saka satrapas came into existed, Sakas, they came into existed from the satrap, which was started by the time of the Darius I. And Darius I, he made Skylax made as a governor of this Takshila or Sindh Gandhara Takshila area. Skylax became governor. So this information we are knowing from the area of Herodotus histories. And they started to collect taxes from India. They introduced to collect the taxes from India, Persians. Coming to the point of the Persian tax, whatever they are collecting in India, that is 1/3 income of the Persian Empire. The entire Persian Empire, 1/3 income of the Persian Empire, they are collecting from Indian territories. So this Darius I, we discussed that Darius I occupied India, and this Darius I, he took away some Indian soldiers. Indian soldiers went to the Persia. They went to the Persia. And Indian soldiers were working under the Persian rulers. It was at this moment, after the Darius I, next Jaraxus, he came to the throne. Jaraxus person we can see in the 300 warriors, a movie is there, 300 warriors movie. In that movie we can see the Jaraxus war. During the time of the Jaraxus period, there occurred war between the Greeks and Persians. War between the Greeks and Persians. This is what called as a Persepolis War or Greco-Persian War, started during this period. This was continued. During this period, there was a war called Thermopylae. During this war period, Thermopylae means holy gates. During this war period, Indian soldiers, they participated in this war. This war occurred in the Europe territories. Understand one thing here. Clearly understand. Whether you are going to get this point or not, That's why I am going to repeat once again. During the time of the Darius I, Indian soldiers went to the Persia. During the time of the Xerxes, there occurred Persia and Greek wars. This war is Thermopylae. In this war occurred in the European territories. Indian soldiers participated in this war. This question asked in the UPSC earlier. What was the first war? Indian soldiers participated in the European territories. The first war Indian territories participated in the European lands were Thermopylae War. That was occurred during the time of the Xerxes. After the Xerxes, next to Darius III, he came to the throne of the Persia. Persian Achaemenid ruler, last ruler of the Achaemenid dynasty, Darius III. During the Darius III period, there occurred war between Darius III and Alexander. Darius III and Alexander. This war is called as Battle of Arbela. Battle of Arbela. In this Battle of Arbela, Darius III was completely defeated by the Alexander. Persian Empire, the great Persian Empire fell under the control of Alexander. Persian Empire was declined, disintegrated the great Persian Empire in the history of the world. So by this ended Persian Empire. First foreign rulers were the Persians, invaded on India. Okay, what is the result of the Persian invasions? What is the impact of the Persian invasions? Impact of Persian invasions. Persians were the first foreigners came to India. Coming to the point of the impact of the Persians, now Indo-Persian trade developed. Indo-Persian trade was developed via Sindh. That is Sindh Gulf. Via Sindh Gulf. There occurred route between India to the Persia that connects to the Black Sea. This trade continued till the end of the British period. This trade was continued. Iranian coins were also found in India. Iranian coins. These Iranian coins were found in the northwestern India, northwestern frontier province. Many Indians, they followed the Iranian coins, struck the style of the Iranian coins. And another impact, Kharosthi script introduced in India by the Persians. Kharosthi script, it is originated from Aramaic. Kharosthi script, it is originated from the Aramaic. It is writing from right to left. Usually we are writing from left to right, but this script is writing from right to left. This script latter period used by the Ashoka in his inscriptions. Kharosthi and Greek, that is a bilingual inscription found at Kandahar. Ashoka, he used 4 scripts in the inscriptions. Kharosthi, Aramaic, Greek, Brahmi. 4 scripts were used by the Ashoka. This Kharosthi script was one impact. They occupied Sindh. Persians were occupied Sindh. Sindh became Hindustan. By the Persians. And rock inscriptions of Ashoka. Coming to the point of the rock pillar inscriptions of Ashoka having capital. This is Ashoka's pillar inscription. This has a base and it has a capital. This capital head, that capital head of the Ashoka's inscriptions that concept has been taken from the Persia. This was the Persian concept taken by the Ashoka. And Pataliputra of that period, Pataliputra of Indian Magadhan capital, this was compared with the Persepolia of capital of the Persians. Persepolia, Persian capital. This is about the Persian invasions and also impact of the Persian invasions. Now coming to the point of Greek invasions, that is Alexander invasion. Alexander invasion. This is also most important topic in the Indian history. Alexander invasion. Alexander, he belongs to the Macedonia Empire. This Macedonia Empire was established by the Philips II. He was the father of Alexander. Philips II. He belongs to the Macedonia kingdom. This Macedonia kingdom was mentioned in the book of Arian, Anabasis of Alexander. Anabasis of Alexander. This book was written by Arian. Anabasis of Alexander. This book was written by Arian. In this book, he explained about the Alexander invasion on India. Originally, Alexander, he invaded on India in 327 or 326 BC. Most probably, you have to fix with 326. You can remember like this: 3 2s are 6. 3 2s are 6. 326 BC. Because this is most important area to remember in the Indian history. There are very few years in the Indian history, ancient Indian history, to remember, like Buddha's birth, Buddha's death. Buddha born in 563 BC, Buddha died in 483 BC. And also Vardhamana Mahavira. The birth of the Vardhamana Mahavira 540, the death of the Vardhamana Mahavira 468 at the age of 72 years. After those two, next important is invasion of Alexander on India 326 BC. Why Alexander he invaded on India? Coming to the point of the Alexander, he was disciple of Aristotle. He was disciple of Plato. He was disciple of Socrates. All these were considered as sophists in the Greek. Sophist means philosopher. Greek philosopher called as sophist. Socrates was the first sophist in the Greek. Socrates was considered as the first sophist in the Greek. We know that Socrates was taken poison by himself and he died. That was the death sentence was given by the ruler. Socrates, why he went to the jail? Because he impressed and he encouraged youth towards the knowledge. By that time, people were in the knowledge of only religion. But the people, those who started other than the religion, but the people, those who started to teach knowledge or science, they were considered as the worst people in the society. They were considered as the tantric people in the society. They used to put in the jail or they used to be cut their head. Capital punishment. So like that, Socrates went to the jail because he was inspired people, that is youth, the entire youth of the Greek was inspired by the Socrates. To propagate the Socrates ideas, Plato, he started an academy and also he wrote a book on the name of Academy. This academy book speaks about Socrates' principles. Socrates teaches. The teachings of Socrates popularized by the Plato. And Plato's disciple was Aristotle. Aristotle, he was a father of many subjects. Father of geography, father of science, father of what is that, political science. He was the father of several subjects. Aristotle disciple was Alexander. Alexander, he can guess what is going on the next, like that. Alexander, he did not know the way to India. He said one thing. Remember, Alexander, he said one thing. If there is no way, I will find out the way. That was the famous statement of Alexander. Alexander, he discovered route to India. He came to India via Khyber-Bolan passes. Khyber-Bolan passes. Bolan is very wide pass. Khyber-Bolan passes. These passes lies between the Afghanistan, Pakistan and India. Afghanistan, Pakistan and India. These three areas. Why he came to India? Actually, he occupied Persia. After the annexation of Persia, he wanted to complete the annexation of India. Persian state is there in India. For the cause of the Persian state in India, he came to the India. Alexander, he came to the India. But according to some historians, Alexander is called as a madman. That is, Alexander is Macedonia madam. The name of the Alexander mentioned in the histories, that is Macedonia madam. Once this question asked in the previous UPSC examinations, Macedonia madam means Macedonia madman. How he got this title? According to some evidences, Alexander, he killed his father Philipps. That's why one colony of the Macedonia did not accept Alexander as a ruler. One colony did not accept Alexander as a ruler. Because of that, Alexander, he massacred the complete colony. That means he killed the entire colony, from small kids to the old man. Because of that, Alexander is called as Macedonia madam. Okay, whatever it may be, in 326 BC, he invaded on India. He crossed Wund and entered into India. Before entering into India, he crossed a place called Wund. That you have to remember. Got this point? Clear? Next, coming to the point of India, the Indian Taxila ruler, Ambi. Ambi was the first Indian ruler who submitted his kingdom to the Alexander. He submitted his kingdom to the Alexander without war. That means he subdued. He became feudal of the Alexander. He accepted the sovereignty of the Alexander. That means he hands up without the war. Why he hands up without the war? Ambi, he has a desire to occupy Porus. Porus and Ambi, these two were the relatives, uncle and son-in-law. Ambi, he wanted to occupy Porus. That's why he asked the help of the Alexander. Because of that, there occurred war between the Porus and Alexander. A war between Porus and Alexander. This war occurred on the river bank of the Hydaspes. This is famous Battle of Hydaspes. In the Indian history, Battle of Hydaspes. Hydaspes is the name of the Jhelum river in Indian history. In the Greek literature, Hydaspes means Jhelum. This war occurred around 325 BC. Alexander, he took more time to defeat Porus. Porus was a good warrior. Finally, Porus was defeated by the Alexander after 6 months. Alexander took severe war. Alexander, he faced severe troubles to defeat Porus. Finally, Porus was defeated by the Alexander. According to some evidences, Porus was asked by the Alexander. Alexander said to the Porus, I impressed your warfare techniques. What do you want? Then Porus, he said, I want to wage dual war with you. That is, dual war means 1-to-1 war. But Alexander did not accept it. Alexander, he gave his kingdom, Porus' kingdom, to the Porus, and Alexander recognized Porus as an independent ruler. Alexander declared Porus as an independent ruler. He recognized Porus as the independent ruler. So finally, the Alexander, he did not come to the Pataliputra. He returned to the Greek. Alexander, he returned to the Greek. While he was moving to the Greek, he constructed Alexandria, a city. He constructed Alexandria, a city in the Egypt. He completed a city in the Egypt. And Syria. This Syria kingdom was given to the Seleucus Nicator. He was army general of Alexander. Alexander gave Syria to the Seleucus Nicator. That's why this Syria kingdom is also called as Seleucid kingdom. Seleucid kingdom. This kingdom is called as Seleucid kingdom. This kingdom is called as Seleucid kingdom. And Alexander also constructed again a dam against the Jhelum river in India. He constructed Alexandria. While he was moving to the Greek, he died in the Babylonia forest. He died in Babylonia forest. He died because of malaria disease. Malaria. According to some evidences, he died with malaria fever. Malaria used to be by the mosquito bite. We can say that the great Alexander was assassinated by a small female mosquito. Alexander died because of malaria. But science did not accept it. According to the science, Alexander, he died because of gonorrhea. So like this ended the Alexander invasion. Next, coming to the point of what was the result of Alexander invasion? Results or impact of Alexander invasion. He discovered a route from Khyber-Bolan passes. Khyber-Bolan passes. These two passes later became the way of foreign invasions. The way of foreign invaders. It became the way of the foreign invaders in the latter period. Khyber-Bolan passes. Other foreign Muslims like Arabs, Turks, Ghaznavites, Gorites, Babur, all these people, they came to India via Khyber-Bolan passes. That was the one impact. Another impact, Indo-Greek trade. This was developed the Indo-Greek trade, and also Indo-Greek art was developed. Indo-Greek art. Because of the Indo-Greek art, this was also called as Gandhara School of Art. Gandhara School of Art developed. This Gandhara School of Art was latter period adopted by the Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism developed this Gandhara School of Art. In the Gandhara School of Art, coming to the point of the sculpture of Buddha, the body structure of the Buddha, body posture of the Buddha. Buddha looks like a Greek hero with a wrinkled arms, that is just like a six pack, and hairstyle of the Buddha. All this reflects the Greek style. And some historians of the Greek historians, another impact. Greek historians, they wrote about Indian history. These Greek historians, they wrote Indian history in the chronological order. No Indian literature, either Vedas or Puranas or epics, whatever it may be, if you go to the Indian literature, Indian works, they did not concentrate on the chronology of the Indian history. Until the Kalhana's Rajatarangini. Kalhana was the first person who related to the India, wrote Indian history in the chronological order, and that's why Kalhana is considered as the father of Indian history. So Greeks, they started chronological order of Indian history. And Greek sentiments, some Greek sentiments were also continued in India. These Greek sentiments were continued in India by the Chandragupta Maurya, later period Ashoka. For example, after meeting the astrologer, after meeting the saint, they used to take royal bath in the mid of the court. Whenever they enter into the court, in the mid of the court, they used to take royal bath with milk, and they used to wash their body. That sentiment has been taken by the Chandragupta Maurya from the Greeks. Another one is Greek coins. Indians, they followed the Greek coin system. And Saubhuti, Indian ruler, Saubhuti, he was an Indian ruler who struck the Indo-Greek coins, imitated the Indo-Greek coins. Yeah, this is about the foreign invasions and also Alexander invasions. Clear, we discussed most of the points, we covered most of the points related to the Persian and Greco invasions. This is about the entire thing. In the next class, we will start other topic, that is Mauryans. Okay, good luck to you all.